Hey drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumsaword.com. Welcome to this free mini song lesson where I'm going to teach you the best parts, the main parts, the coolest parts from the song Hollywood Nights by Bob Seger, drummed by two drummers on this recording, David Teegarden and Roger Hawkins. And what I've got for you are 2 pages of free PDF drum transcriptions which you can download from my website. You'll find a link to these 2 pages beneath this video. So have these 2 pages printed out in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things a lot easier to understand. And what we've got here really is just an interpretation of how one drummer, me or you, could play this part live or with a band or with along to the recording. And so there are a couple of exceptions here which I'll talk about as we go through the lesson, but there are a couple of exceptions where it's multiple parts being played on the recording, but you've got to choose one part to play yourself. In fact, there's a little recording online of Don Brewer talking about this. I think he did a tour with Bob Seger and played drums on it. Oh, anyway, that's something I saw on YouTube very briefly. So, the first part, song starts straight away as it means to go on with this drum part. And like I said at the beginning there, we've got 2 drum parts being played. So, the main drum part being heard through the song is really this. But at the beginning in particular, you can hear that there's actually a bell of a ride cymbal or ride cymbal being played on quarter notes. So you've got that part being played over the top of this part, but then once the intro is over, both drummers sort of settle into play exactly the same part. The one drummer isn't playing on the bell and the other is playing on that double hi-hat. They're both playing on the double hi-hat. But just for this first part, like I say, you do hear this ride cymbal part being played in the background, but the main groove is the double-handed hi-hat, so that's what I've decided to notate. So we come in with a very fast drum fill, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. Just right, left, and the and of 4 and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's a fast song, this. Fast double-handed hi-hats. So the first 4 bars also show how they settle into the groove and also how the bass drum changes a little bit at the beginning, and then for the rest of the song it's just sort of pumping all the way through. But the first section of the song we do have a little bit of variation with the bass drum. So that first bar of groove, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and 4 and 1. So bass drum's on 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and notice no 4 for the first bar. It's actually the second bar that they settle into that idea, where we get 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1. It's right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way through. I'm just bringing down my hands, a 4E and a 3E and a 4E and a, just coming down with that left hand. You'll be playing it over here, 3E and a 4. So there'll be a little bit of coming underneath your hand a little bit, coming underneath your right hand to get underneath to that snare drum note. Probably a little bit easier for me. But yeah, be aware that that's left, right as I've notated on the page. 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1. Notice how the bass drum goes right up to those notes. And a 4. Down to the next line, that drum beat continues with the 4 idea, but notice the more sparse bass drum. 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1. Then the 4th bar, we got another variation of bass drum. 1 and 2, 3, a 4 and, but the bar ends with that little drum fill. Instead of playing a 4E and a, it's a 4 and. So you just get this extra little snare drum note on the and to beat 4. The only time that drum fill was played in the song, by the way. 1 and 2, 3, a 4 and 1. So slowly those 2 lines, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and 2, 3, a 4 and 1. And what I forgot to mention there is that there's actually an extra bass drum coming down on beat 4 with that snare drum at the last bar, but you could be forgiven if you missed that out. It's the snare drum pattern that's important, not the bass drum underneath. But you'll find a lot of this song later on, as we're about to see, there's a lot of pumping of the bass drum going on underneath these drum fills. Anyway, let's hear those 2 lines played up to speed without me yakking on over the top so you can hear just the drums. Here we go. So then at 11 seconds we get our first playing of this drum fill that gets repeated throughout the song. So the part leading up to it is just our basic groove. 1 and 2 and 3 and we get the a 4 still, but instead of playing a 4E and we play a 4 and a 4 and and those bass drums are playing 4 and underneath. So 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1. Left, right, right, left. Da 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 boom. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1. Let's hear that a couple of times up to speed. So at 26 seconds, where you sort of go into your first verse and you can feel the whole band sort of settling into something. 2 drummers settling into the 1 drum beat. We definitely get one of the drummers playing an open hi-hat pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... while the other drummer is playing the double-handed hi-hat pattern. So in order to replicate that, I've decided that I'll play the double-handed hi-hat pattern and include the open hi-hat as well. And it sounds pretty cool. It sounds just like the recording really. But just be aware, that's how they recorded it. 2 different drummers playing 2 different hi-hat parts. I've just combined them into 1 here. So we've got the basic drum beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, but over the top of that, we're opening the hi-hat on the and of each beat and closing on the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And also what I tend to do there is a 4, I don't play a 4E, I don't feel the need to play that E. I play a 4 and come back to the hi-hat with my right hand on the and a 4, just because, you're not really hearing or missing that hi-hat on the E of 4, and it gives my hands a little bit of a rest as well at this tempo. So let's hear that played up to speed a few times. So onto the second page, and at 1 minute 04, we really settle into the main groove of the song, where we don't get this distinctive open hi-hat pattern occurring prominently on the ands of each beat. But by the way, there are a lot of very subtle open hi-hats going on in this song with the double-handed hi-hat part. Lots of very subtle little quick openings. Great feel with the hi-hat foot. It's been sort of opened and closed in dynamic ways. And so that kind of stuff is almost impossible to notate precisely. So it's kind of just up to you as a drummer to sort of feel that. And if you want to replicate, if you know the song really well, then you'll know what I mean, where you're sort of hearing those open hi-hats and washes and stuff. And so play around with your hi-hat foot with these, but don't obviously lose the main groove. So this is the main groove. Very, very simple. We've gone over it in previous examples, but I thought I'd include it on its own. 104 is when I really heard it on its own, as this is the drum beat of the song. And just for complete sake, let me play that up to speed a couple of times for you. So at 1 minute 53, we get our other drum fill that occurs throughout the song. The first one was the 4 and Now, this drum fill, which also occurs a few times in the song, just extends it back to beat 3. It's the same idea. We're playing a group of 3 notes, 16th notes, 3E and a 4E and moving across the beat in that way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, which gives it its distinctive rhythm. So the part leading up to it is just our drum beat. 1 and 2 and then down to the snare drum. And I believe it's quite hard to hear, but this is what I think I'm hearing and feeling as well. The bass drum is pumping all the way through this drum fill. So we get 3E and a 4 and notice the 4 and exactly the same as we've already done, but it's the 3E and a 4 and Don't think too much about that bass drum on the and of 3. If your bass drum's just pumping at this tempo, you don't really have to think about it. It's one of those muscle memory things. especially if you've practiced that rhythm a few times before. So in context, 1 and 2 and 3 a 4 and the 1 and 2 and 3 a 4 and the 1 and 2 and 3 a 4 and the 1. And up to speed. So then finally at 3 minute 55, the last sort of distinctive part of the song, it only happens once, is this big drum fill towards the end of the song. Just simply starting on beat 3 again, just playing 16th notes all the way to the end of the bar. 3E and a, 4E and the bass drum pumping underneath. 1 and 2 and 3E and a, 4E and a, 1 and 2 and 3E and a. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, 3E and a, 4E and a, 16th notes. And let's hear that up to speed. So there you go, relatively simple drum parts but played at a blistering tempo, so probably a little bit harder than you think to play the entire song without your arms freezing up. So you need to be able to be relaxed to play this song and be warmed up, because you'll be surprised how quickly you get tired playing this tempo, double-handed hi-hat parts all the way through. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download both pages of the PDF from my website. Again, it's for free and you'll find the link beneath this video. And then while you're at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for $97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's over 500 full song lessons now, where unlike this lesson, I teach you the song from start to finish. Every single bar is included and you get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And like I say, I've got over 500 full famous popular songs up on the website already. And so thank you for signing up. I give you access to hundreds more little videos teaching you many famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you!